So I'm going to show you now how to create an ideal schedule for yourself using buffer blocks, strategic blocks, and breakout blocks, and then things that we need to repetitively do throughout the week. So go into your settings, and here there's calendars, and in here you can create a new calendar. So you could name it Ideal Calendar, and that's it. And then if I wanted to share it with any of my administrative people, I could add that. And then I just want to show you right down here, create calendar. It's right there and it's blank. One thing I like about Google Calendar is, like, if I populate it with all the stuff that's normally on my calendar, I'm actually clicking on a number of different activities that are happening. So I can see all this through these different calendars that are appearing here. I just want to show you over here. But as soon as I click all these off, I'll take off Indy's calendar, I'll take off all of these. I'm just blocking them out. There's going to be nothing on my calendar. Isn't that awesome? And I just want to scroll this section to stuff I want to schedule. I never want to really schedule anything before 8:30 a.m. That's just me personally. You might want to. And I really don't want to have much to do after about 4 p.m. So here's my window. And the way my calendars are set up is Sunday through Saturday. You might want to set yours up a different way. So now I'm just going to inhale and exhale. Look at this massive space, blank canvas. And I just want to tap into, like, what do I want my week to be like? When does it work for me to do creative activities? When does it work for me to do communication activities? When does it work for me to do all the little things, the little stuff that just needs to be done and kind of takes up space but doesn't use that much brain power? And what I notice as I do this, I'm like, oh, I love having project time in the morning. I love to have project times in the morning. So what project time is to me, those are strategic blocks. There is a component of reality when doing an ideal calendar, and you might want to presence what you also need to do, but you might want to do this in a way that's not. So if I'm doing this in a way that's like, I just want to have 3 hours every morning to do, we'll just say strategic blocks. But this is when I want my strategic blocks. They might include writing blog posts. It might include creating new course videos like this one. So I'm going to create this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat it. And I'm going to say, well, this is something I want to have repeat always. It's never going to end. It happens every weekday. And we're going to save that. Okay, so wow, that's just awesome. Like, yeah, okay, I've got my strategic blocks in there. And now let's say I want to have, after I do all that, and then I have lunch, maybe lunch for me. I have a pretty short lunch. I usually do half an hour for lunch. And part of that is because I have a kid. And so I condense my workday so that I can spend more time with her. And so if we then, I'm going to keep this on, I'm actually doing all this on Indy's calendar so I can easily delete it later without screwing up mine. So what if I say I'm going to do a Facebook and email buffer block? And for me to do both those things, I do need to be in both Facebook and email daily. I'm going to do that. I'm going to just create the event. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the event. And again, I'm going to go into repeat, so that this is something that happens every day. It's never going to stop. Done. And then I'm going to change this because as I said, I don't need an hour. I need from about 1 till 1:10, 40 minutes. If I use timers, that shouldn't be a problem. So now there it is. That's showing up every day. Now say I wanted those to be a different color. I like using these event colors down there. I'm going to make those yellow. All events I'm going to change. And now those are all going to be yellow. Using color coding, to me, I don't know about you. For me, the little things make a big difference. So now I have time in the morning to work on all my projects. Then say I want to do, I'm a coach, so I do coaching. Say that I want to coach from 1 to 3:30. So I would have basically 2.5-hour sessions. Nope, I would need to make that until 4:30 to have 2.5-hour sessions. And I would just say coaching sessions. And this is when my assistant would then schedule coaching. If you don't have an assistant, then chances you are. I'm going to make these purple, and I'm going to make them repeat on Tuesdays and on Thursdays forevermore and save. This is my ideal calendar, right? So I've got strategic blocks in the morning, coaching sessions in the afternoon, and then say every Friday I want to have a breakout block in the afternoon. Maybe after lunch, I just go and for 3 hours, I do my breakout block, which means I might go take my computer to the park and work on something there. And say breakout blocks are really special, so I want to make them red so I don't forget to do those. And then say I want that to happen. Maybe I can't really afford to do that every Friday. So what I might do is I might just repeat it every other week. Forevermore. Done. Save. And so then that's on Fridays. If we look at a month schedule, then it's going to appear, you can see these red dots are appearing every other week. Okay, let's go back to our weekly view. And so now we have our strategic blocks, we have our breakout block, and we have our buffer block, and we have the time that I need for coaching right in there. I hope this is helpful. That's just a very, very quick way to create an ideal calendar.